Time is running out for Congress to come up with a plan to raise the country's debt ceiling.
Otherwise, the United States could end up defaulting on its debts with catastrophic consequences for millions of American families, from buying a home to getting paid. CBS 8's Richard Allen takes a look at how you could be impacted by this looming crisis.
And as the world's economic powerhouse, the U.S. has never defaulted on its debt. But economists warn that if Congress doesn't soon come to an agreement on raising the debt ceiling, it could send the global economy into chaos.
We don't know exactly how any of this would play out. We kind of have a sense of the likely mechanisms, but I think there is no universe in which good things happen.
Simply put, the debt ceiling is the limit on the amount of money the federal government can borrow to pay its bills, and it currently stands at around $31 trillion, a limit we've already hit. And while the U.S. Treasury is now taking extraordinary measures to stay afloat for the time being, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warns that if the ceiling is not raised by June 1st, the U.S. could run out of cash with some devastating consequences. Economics commentator Catherine Rampell.
If we default on our debt, borrowing costs go up for the United States, but also for U.S. consumers, for U.S. businesses, et cetera. It becomes more expensive to get a mortgage, for example.
In fact, according to Zillow, a debt default by the U.S. government could force mortgage rates to soar above 8%, driving up closing costs and mortgage payments for a home by at least 22%, directly impacting potential home buyers.
If interest rates increase, the usual things will be impacted: home mortgages, car loans, credit cards.
And along with higher interest rates, a slew of federal government programs, from Social Security and Medicare to military salaries and veterans benefits to free lunches for school kids, would be impacted if the government could not borrow to fulfill its obligations. Wally Adeyemo is Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Treasury.
Defaulting on our debt isn't only about financial markets. It's about paying our Social Security recipients. It's about paying our troops. It's about paying the men and women who are working the border today.
The debt ceiling has been raised 78 times since 1960 under both Democratic and Republican presidents, including 3 times during the last administration. USD economics professor Alan Ginn.
It's more of a political issue now than an economic one, in the sense that there's really no reason why the debt ceiling can't be raised at this point.
And between now and June 1st, there are technically only 4 working days on the congressional calendar, meaning that both chambers and the president need to come to an agreement by the end of this week.